Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman 3 was a rather competitive decision that a lot of people are looking at different ways. A lot of people think Leon won. Some people think that Usman won, especially with the point deduction of the third round. It really throws the scorecards into a bit of a confusion on who actually won this fight. Now, according to the actual judges, they gave the fight to Leon Edwards, scoring it 48-46 and 147-47 as a draw. Now, as you can see from the judges, every single judge scored the fight differently. Ben Cartilage gave the first 2 rounds to Leon, the third round as a 9-9, which actually he gave it to Leon, but the point deduction knocks it down to a draw. The 4th round he gave to Usman, and the 5th round he gave to Leon. Judge Chris Lee gave the first 2 rounds to Leon, the 3rd round to Usman with the point deduction, and then the 4th and 5th both to Leon. Judge David Letterby scored the 1st round for Leon, the 2nd round for Usman, the 3rd round for Usman with the point deduction, and then the 4th and 5th both to Leon. So it looks like not only by the judges, but even the fans, after I asked on Twitter, rounds 1 and 5 definitely go to Leon according to everybody involved. Most people do think that Usman won round 3, which will give it an automatic 10-8. So we're going to be looking at round 2 first, and also round 4. So let's break it down on who actually won the fight by the judging criteria, by the scoring rules, which is very flawed. It's scored on damage for the most part if there's no real effective grappling happening. Damage is very subjective. People see it in different ways, but we're going to go our best on actually categorizing every single strike in accordance to damage. Now remember that the most damaging shots are the only shots that are really going to matter when it comes to the actual scoring. The little strikes aren't really going to matter much. Stats don't really matter that much when it comes to the actual scoring of a fight. So try not to be too hung up on the light strikes of the fight. It's really the heavy strikes that are going to matter, but if there are no heavy strikes, it's only going to be the medium strikes that are really going to matter here. Especially in a fight like Leon versus Usman, where no real big damage actually happened throughout that fight. So let's get right into it, man. Leon starts the 2nd round with an inside leg kick, then they both go and attack each other at the same time. Leon's throwing another inside leg kick, but because of Usman's aggression inward and how wide he brings his legs, landing to the groin. This happened way too many times in the fight, and at the same time, Usman lands a jab to the body, pushing him away. So we don't count groin strikes, right? We don't count illegal strikes, and this one actually got called for by Herb Dean. Now an outside leg kick from Leon Edwards. Now Leon mixes it up. He was conditioning a lot of the leg kicks, so he goes to the body this time with a big left kick to the body, and this one is your first medium attack of the round. Usman gave a pretty good reaction to that blow as he was trying to parry it. Another inside leg kick from Leon, and this one actually gets a pretty good reaction. Another medium attack for Leon Edwards. It kicks out Usman's balance. There was a lot of power with that kick. Side kick to the knee from Leon Edwards, doesn't really get much out of it as Usman was moving away from the kick. This was a little strange from Leon as he was very aggressive. He moved forward into Usman and got intercepted by a jab. This could be kind of arguable if you want to make this a light strike, if you want to make this a medium strike. It's kind of in the middle there, but it's not as big as Leon's body kick earlier. It is pretty subjective on how to look on that strike. Now Leon throws kind of a strange left hook, almost straight punch, and he misses his fist, but he lands with his forearm behind the head that the impact actually threw Usman's punch off. A slight grazing jab from Usman lands, and Leon returns with a left hook to the body. Now it's hard to tell from the camera angle how well it lands, or if it just slaps or something like that. This one's kind of subjective. If you want to make this a light, if you want to make this a medium, it's hard to tell because of that camera angle. But immediately afterward, Usman reacts with throwing a right hook over the shoulder. Doesn't really get much out of it. Leon eats it as the punch wasn't able to go all the way through, and Usman takes a flush knee to the face that stuns him. This is a heavy attack, and one of the only heavy attacks of the entire fight. Gonna be pretty tough for Usman to beat that blow, so because of that shot alone, regardless of everything else Leon landed, this is winning him the round because of how the judging criteria is. Leon throws a wide left hook around the guard, lands pretty good, another medium attack from Leon, and at the same time, Usman was throwing his own left hook, lands that on Leon as well, but doesn't get the same kind of reaction. Usman throws in a left hook, but stops it immediately as it lands on Leon's head, showing that he wasn't digging all the way through with it, but he did throw it like a hook. Didn't really have much impact. Then 2 body shots from Usman land in the clinch. Inside leg kick from Leon. Now they both throw punches at the same time at each other. Leon throws a jab while Usman digs in with the right straight. And Leon's punch grazes past Usman's head while Usman's punch lands clean. It makes Leon look like he almost sat down in a chair. Big shot from Usman. This is another heavy attack, but not as big as the one that Leon landed on Usman. After the blow, Usman gets on the aggression, knowing that Leon got hurt a little bit, and gets a double leg takedown and attempts to get his back. And And as Leon is standing up, it looks like, it's hard to tell from the camera angle because it does block off a lot of the punches that may have gotten blocked or may have landed through the guard, like some of them actually did when we got the good camera angle. It looks like at least 6 strikes landed from Usman here, but it could be more. Now, as Leon shot a takedown and failed, Usman lands 7 punches to the body, but in that position, it's hard to get leverage for those punches, especially in the position of sprawling on a takedown, but they all do land on Leon's body. As Leon stands up, Usman lands with his forearm to the side of the head and a right hook around the guard. Leon doesn't really show much of a reaction to any of these shots. The right hook is subjective. You can make it a light, you can make it a medium, kind of up to you in that point. It's not really going to change who won this round. Then a pullback left hook from Leon. He was able to pull away from Usman's jab and land a clean left straight that gets a good reaction out of Usman. That's a clean medium attack right there. Leon grazes a snap kick to the body. It just touches and then just grazes by. From this body kick, it's hard to see if it lands because it also looks like Usman may have blocked it with his elbows. Camera angle not good there to really tell. Then the head kick comes and it gets partially blocked from Usman, but some of the power was still able to generate through. As you can see, the shin is above Usman's left arm that he went to block it with, so he only blocked it with his right hand. But you can tell that some of the power went through. Another left straight from Leon Edwards. As Usman was moving away for the punch, he was trying to pull away from it, but it does connect on him on the way out. This is another subjective one. If you want to make this a light, if you want to make it a medium, the reason why his head went back like that is, yes, he got hit by it, but it's also because he was moving his head back before he even got hit by the punch. So it can make it look like it may have been bigger than it was. Just for reference to mention it, this body kick does not land. Usman blocked it on the way up, and you could tell there's a little bit of space between his foot and Usman's body. I know there's going to be people that's going to bring this up and say, oh look, Leon landed the body kick, he missed it. On the way down, it looks like it may have touched a little bit of his body, but that's not a strike. That's his leg falling down because Usman blocked it. Checked calf kick from Leon Edwards. Both guys get a bit of damage there. Grazing oblique kick from Leon Edwards as Usman barely misses his jab. A good body jab from Usman, and then returned by a good body kick from Leon Edwards, and he lands kind of like the side of his foot into the lower section of the body. Gets a much better reaction than Usman's punch while he was trying to parry the kick. Another grazing oblique kick to the knee. Another oblique kick from Leon Edwards. This seems to have a little bit better of a reaction from the kick. You can make this a medium, you can make it a light. It's kind of in between there. Just want to mention, these left hooks look like they land, but they don't. Neither guy lands theirs. They both land on each other's shoulders. As you can see, Usman's punch lands right there, and then Leon's punch lands right there. In real time, it could look like they landed on each other. And I also want to show this one because it looks like Leon may have landed this left hook, but he in fact does not. As you can see, the left hook looks like it may have grazed, but it goes above Usman's head, and Usman's head is moving that way because he's throwing a heavy overhand, which is the natural motion of throwing an overhand like that. And that is the end of the second round. By tallying up all the damage and the strikes, Kamaru Usman outlanded him in light strikes 12, which don't really matter to the scoring. The strikes that are really going to matter here are the 6 medium strikes from Leon Edwards. Usman only landed 1, but even more importantly, the most important thing of the whole round, they both landed 1 heavy strike, but Leon's was bigger. So Leon Edwards wins that second round because he did cause more damage. Even though Usman landed more strikes, he didn't cause as much damage as Edwards. Leon caused more damage overall. So the second round is a 10-9 for Leon Edwards. He now is winning 3 rounds to 1. Usman could only make this a draw, or Leon wins the fight. And then we go to round 4. First shot of the round is Leon Edwards landing a body jab, which actually does get parried as well from Usman, but it seems like it still touches the body. There is a left hook from Leon that gets blocked by Usman's hand, and the way Usman moves with the punch, it's going to make a lot of people believe that the power went through and actually hurt Usman or something, but the punch does get blocked. Looks like the oblique kick from Leon lands again, but the camera angle makes it hard to see because Usman's legs are completely out of the picture. But the way that he reacts, and it looks like either it landed on the knee and made him go back like that, or he slid his legs away and caused the kick to miss. It's hard to tell, so we'll come back to it if we have to. But this is a good leg kick from Leon Edwards. This is definitely a medium attack, and the reaction from Usman is very telling, and he got super aggressive after the kick landed on him. He wanted to close that distance. Inside leg kick from Leon. Doesn't really get much out of it as Usman was moving his legs away from it as well. Another oblique kick to the knee from Leon Edwards. Definitely a good technique he brought into this fight. Now Usman comes in with a left hook that does get blocked and missed, and as he's coming in with the big right overhand, Leon has his fingers in his face, man. I will talk about all the fouls in another video, but Usman wings in that big overhand and connects over the arms. You can make this a light attack or a medium because the punch was swung very big, but again, it's not the way you throw the punch, It's the reaction from the punch that you can only go by. Now, Leon didn't give much of a reaction other than his head getting knocked back from the blow, which is why you could make it in medium, but it didn't really have that much of a reaction if we're going to be honest. So it's kind of in the middle of a light and medium attack there. A grazing oblique kick from Leon Edwards, then Usman just touches him with the right straight at the end. And then here comes the big follow-up left hook from Usman. Lands clean on Leon. This is definitely the biggest shot of the round so far. Grazing front kick to the body from Leon Edwards. Now they both throw kicks at each other. Usman lands under the armpit toward the chest area, and Leon lands to the groin again, and Usman trips. Another follow from Leon Edwards, and as you can see on the ground, Usman seems to be in a bit of pain, but Herb Dean did nothing about that. So Usman continues to fight through it. Inside leg kick from Leon Edwards. Then he follows us up with a grazing jab. He throws another kick. This one seems to be low again, but it may have landed right above the cup. Now another kick to the leg from Leon. Returned by a jab to the body from Usman, but does get parried right afterward. Grazing right cross from Usman. It just touches and glances by. A good leg kick from Leon Edwards. Now, we can't see from the camera angle if the kick lands, but from the reaction from Usman, this is why reactions are more important than the way you throw a strike. You don't really have to see the strike totally to know how well it lands. He throws a leg kick and Usman's reaction makes it look like he definitely landed big here, so we're gonna have to categorize this leg kick as a medium attack. Leon throws a left hook and lands partially behind the ear as Usman was ducking it. Now with this exchange, people may think these punches landed, but they actually did not. Usman throws a jab downward at Leon's head, but Leon slightly was able to get his head on the outside of the punch, and Leon's counter left straight also comes downward like a slap punch and also misses Usman's head. Now this jab definitely lands clean, very good shot from Leon Edwards, and Usman seems to just slightly graze his own jab at the same time. Much bigger impact from Leon Edwards here. Usman does get a double leg, but doesn't secure the position, does nothing with it, so barely counts for anything to be honest. And then Leon throws a jab which misses, but then comes across with a left hook, and this lands clean around the guard. Both throw kicks at each other, but the interesting thing about this was, Leon hit both legs, right? So Usman brings his right leg up, Leon hits that leg and then hits the other leg afterward. So technically this actually counts as two different strikes for Leon. He's like the only fighter I've ever seen land twice with one strike thrown. Grazing right jab from Usman. This left hook from Leon may have just grazed at the end of the punch, but it is kind of hard to tell. Now Leon throws his left uppercut, and again from the camera angle it's hard to tell if it lands. You don't see any impact, you don't see where the punch connects. And at the same time, Usman's pulling his head out from the clinch, so there really isn't much of a reaction we can go by. This long right straight from Usman just grazes, and that is the end of the fourth round. Now by tallying up all the damage, now the biggest thing to look here for when it comes to the damage is the fact that Usman did land the biggest strike of the round, but it was very slight. It wasn't that much more damaging than the strikes that Leon landed, and Leon landed more of them when it came to the left hook around the guard, the body kick, the big leg kick. This is a very close round to call, but you ultimately will have to go with Leon Edwards because that one big strike from Usman wasn't big enough. It was very close to the medium strikes that Leon was landing, and Leon landed multiple of those. So very tight fight here, but to be as accurate as possible, did the judges get this fight correct? They actually did. Well, not specifically each judge, but in total, Leon Edwards should have won this fight, winning 4 rounds to 1. The fourth round was really close. If Usman landed like 1 or 2 more big strikes in that round, he could have taken that round and made the whole thing a draw, but Leon was so much more active with throwing bigger strikes. He kept Usman in that mid-kicking range for the entire duration. That hurt Usman's chances of winning the fight. So the judges got this correct. Leon Edwards gets the win, rightfully. So I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown, and if you did, make sure to give this a thumbs up. If you enjoyed my content, make sure to subscribe. More to come, and I'll see you guys there.